How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you my review of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. So before I go any further, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Be notified of more videos such as this one. My, oh my, oh my. It is that time of year again where we get ourselves an MCU movie. Although it does seem like they've put out quite a bit of content. If you haven't heard, the last person that was in charge, the last Bob that was in charge, really was pushing Disney Plus stuff. So I hear that they're going to pull back on some of that stuff, which is probably good. You really don't want to oversaturate. Like, you want to give us something, but you don't want to give us too much. But yes, wow, this movie. So I saw, obviously before I went to this movie, I went to the Thursday night screening. I'm going to start going to these Thursday night movies way more than the Friday ones. Seeing the reviews, especially the Rotten Tomatoes, I put this in my notes for one of the bads, because I'm going to talk about the good and the bad. But yeah, it feels as though this movie is paying for what other shows and movies have done, or the discord and discontent from fans and I guess critics who have been watching. And if we're going to be honest, people have been praying for the downfall of the MCU. Even a lot of people call it the MCU, which just kind of makes me roll my eyes, but whatever. I went over that in my She-Hulk review. Please feel free to watch it. I'll link the playlist right here in the description. But yes, I'm going to try my best to not go too long with this, but I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Now, one of the things that needs to be said, because I'm a Doctor Strange fan, especially MCU Doctor Strange, so I loved Multiverse of Madness. I enjoyed what they did. I enjoyed Love and Thunder, although I highly recognize the movie was disjointed. Feels like a lot of that movie was left on the cutting room floor. Feels like it should have been a 3-hour movie, because there was so much that was missing that kind of made you scratch your head, right? And Eternals was a different kind of movie. It's really didn't fit, but it wasn't a horrible movie. And obviously, Shang-Chi and No Way Home, fantastic movies. This is not at the level of No Way Home or Shang-Chi, and it certainly isn't below Black Widow. This movie makes sense. It is not disjointed. It follows a plot and it follows a mood. And actually, outside of M.O.D.O.K, which is one of the bad parts I put in here, there's not tons of jokes. As if we're going to be honest, the main person to tell a joke is Scott. There might be funny moments that are not intended to be funny, such as, Hank going, I like ants. That's my thing. I do all my research with ants, right? They're genuinely organic funny moments, and the moments that are supposed to make you laugh, those are done well, but it's not overly done. It's not joke, punchline, joke, punchline. And the first thing I got on my good column talking about is Jonathan Majors, Kang the Conqueror. My God, I cannot remember the last time I have felt true menace and fear and dread when I see when you see a villain character. The last time I felt this was actually He Who Remains, also played by Jonathan Majors, because he was obviously a Kang variant. And He Who Remains was kind of whimsical. Like, there was so much, you could feel the menace and like the weight of his power behind He Who Remains in the Loki series. But he was just kind of jovial, kind of the guy that's been like, I've been here for so long. I seem kooky, but I'll kill you if I have to. Kang doesn't mess around. He knows the end. He says something bigger and worse is going to come. And that's why, Mr. Ant-Man, you want to help me. Which he was screwed over by Janet when she first met him, which is Pym's always messing things up. And what if there's like 3 episodes, 3 different storylines that are because basically of Hank Pym. And now this one, I can see this being a catalyst for what if season 3, because there's no way you're going to do it in season 2, because you would spill way too many beans. But yeah, just Janet not coming clean with what was down there. Hope has asked. They're a family unit, so when Cassie wants to know about even Hank, who she calls Grandpa Hank, they can't really get anything from her. So her sending a signal, she within the 5 years of all the blip and all that stuff, she was trying to find a signal. I guess trying to find her dad, right? Smart girl. Cassie is smart, but Kang, man, he believes in his mission. He believes that he is the one that can save everybody, even if it means killing trillions of people, snuffing out timeline after timeline after timeline. I love how his technology works in here, where a lot of it is neuron based, so it's all based on what he needs and his thoughts. His suit gives him amazing power. All of it, look, it's straight out of the comic book. Looks amazing. He does not crack a joke at all. He is so big and bad. He's like, you honestly think you could beat me? Your whole deal is ants. As a matter of fact, his first thing he says to Scott is, "You're an Avenger. Which one are you? I've killed so many of you. You all tend to run together." And actually, his little tiny joke was, "Are you the one with the hammer?" Right? That's his one joke. I guess all villains get one joke. Even Namor got one joke. And Kang just he wants revenge for being exiled from the Council of Kangs. It's really like he is the best thing about this movie. And if I'm gonna be completely honest, kind of how Infinity War felt like it was more about Thanos than, you know, the heroes coming together to try to beat Thanos. More about Thanos. This movie, for the second half on, is more about Kang. First half is all about the family. Feels very Fantastic Four-y. I mean, Peyton Reed, the director, he wants to direct the new Fantastic Four that the MCU is coming out with. But 100%, first part feels mostly about family and seeing where they are in their lives, which is good. Pacing's great. Nothing feels out of place. Nothing feels rushed. Nothing feels overdone. And we've even established early on, like, yeah, Cassie has a suit, but she hasn't practiced enough to know how to use her momentum and force, which forces Scott to kind of teach her on the fly. And I like that. I like that she doesn't instantly know how to use her ability, which then my next point was, you know, Lang, Van Dyne, and Lang. Love the parental unit. Love that it's seems like it's co-parenting. I also like, a good thing is we've cut out extra characters. We've cut out Cassie's mom, the stepdad. We cut out T.I., Eastern European dude, and Lewis. We've cut out the jokey parts and the extra parts that do not belong. No weird cameos or anything like that. No shoehorning it in. These are our main characters. They have a problem they need to solve. Now, I did not do, full disclosure, I didn't do any background on some of the characters they met in the Quantumverse. I'm pretty sure that some of them actually do exist in comics. Like the dude with the light head, I think he might be Infinite. I call him Infinity Knot, but Infinite, which is more or less a Blue Marvel character. A character that's not supposed to seem like a villain, but could destroy the world if they didn't learn how to shrink him down. But yeah, I'm wondering if that's who that was. Unconfirmed. I'll probably search for that as I'm doing my description for this video, putting in my tags and whatnot. But cast of characters that matter. Yeah, some of those guys are kind of jokey too, but it's kind of an organic thing, which is what I said earlier. The CGI was on point. Didn't really feel like it looked so good that you kind of forget, like, oh, this whole movie is, aside from the beginning and the end, this whole movie is shot in a different realm. Looked really good. Although I argue the very beginning parts where we see how Janet met Kang, that was too dark for me. I don't know if that was just my theater, but that part was entirely too dark. I said not a lot of jokes. Hank gets a moment in here where early on they're talking about, yeah, I have these super smart ants that they got all this tech and stuff on them, but they more or less developed this whole colony themselves, and they have just taken socialization to a whole nother level. They get sucked into the quantum realm, which, by the way, quantum has ant in it. That's funny. And somehow have gone through a wormhole, and they have become even smarter and have made more civilization. They have like a techno chrono civilization, and they help. And Hank looks badass coming in with his entire army, his entire fleet of ants, because his hearing aid, they were trying to communicate with Papa Hank. I enjoyed that moment. Some people may not have liked that moment because the ants helped beat Kang. In addition to, technically they were pushing him back, but M.O.D.O.K is really the reason why they were able to beat him, if we're going to be honest. I can't wait to talk about M.O.D.O.K. Another cool moment was the probability storm. Like Scott touching himself and making multiple hundreds of Scotts, even one that actually works at Baskin Robbins. But these are all probabilities of what could happen. And he sees other versions of himself become Giant Man, try to grab it, and they all end up dying off. And when his singular thought becomes, I gotta save Cassie, all the Scotts are going to help him. And it looks like that the pictures you see of ants reaching out to grab food and working together. I like that. Twice hope comes for him, so I enjoy that we see more of their relationship. I don't think they didn't kiss at the end of this movie, I guess, which was a missed opportunity, but I enjoyed seeing that. Like, oh yeah, it's Ant-Man and the Wasp. She holds her own. Technically, she is the reason why Kang didn't kill him, and the only reason why he was able to get back home is that in the fight, Kang is not to be messed with. He has disintegrated. Well, maybe he disintegrated them. I don't know, because you find out on Loki, you think people are disintegrated. No, they're just sent to the edge of time. Kang looks like he kind of killed all those people, like just disintegrated them, and he was whooping Scott's ass. Wasp had to get the sneak attack in there, so if you can get two Avengers to try and but if we're gonna be honest, head on, he was whooping their ass. Cassie learned how to do the giant thing, easily beat her, which in this movie now Scott can become kaiju size. I don't know if it's 100 feet tall, but at least as tall as Kang's tower and over some of the buildings within his citadel. Love that the citadel gets his due. But that's amazing. Another cool thing, we see the Council of Kangs literally taken out of the comic book panel where they first show up. Council of Kangs, y'all. Even the weird looking one. And yeah, they're kind of a rowdy bunch, but a bunch of them look exactly like Kang the Conqueror. And I'll get on that in a second. We do see 3 major Kangs, though. One is obviously Immortus. Obviously, Immortus looked just like him. Now, I thought Immortus was He Who Remains, but that's a different version of the Immortus character. This is Immortus. We got Ramun-Tut, which is Kang from ancient Egypt, ruling over people with his metal and might. And then we get a third one who is either Kang Prime or some other futuristic Kang. Which, at the end of the movie, very, very last thing, they say Kang will return. Kang's kind of a villain that you really can't kill. Which, at the movie ends how it began. With Scott talking about, it's a beautiful life. I don't know how I got here. People recognizing him. A kid has his backpack. He had free coffee, although the dude thought he was Spider-Man. And he's written a book, does book readings. But Scott contemplates, he said, well, wait a minute. He said, I would want to help him because something worse is coming. Did I do the right thing by beating him? I mean, I stopped him from getting out, but what's going to happen? And the genuine fear on his face, and you can see the neurosocial disconnect. Like, I know I go through it. I don't know if anybody else goes through it, but when you start thinking about things that are giving you an existential crisis, kind of have to flip out of it just so you don't ruin your day and don't have a panic attack. So you just flip and say, not going to think about it. Get a ice cream cake for my daughter's not birthday, because I literally missed a lot of birthdays. I didn't really touch on Cassie being a criminal. She does protests and stuff, so she goes to jail for the right reasons. It has gone to jail at least twice now. The after credit scene is we see Loki and Morbius spying on Victor Timely, another alias of Prime Kang, who is using his power to bring technology in the past to help further his conquest in the future. So That's going to directly lead into Loki season 2. Although I wish some of these shows didn't get season 2. I think the only shows that really deserve season 2 is Moon Knight and Miss Marvel. Loki's amazing. Amazing show. Top 3. Like, unbiased top 3. But I do hope Moon Knight and Miss Marvel get season 2s. At least Moon Knight. I mean, come on. But yes, this is going to lead into Loki season 2, obviously. Because even Morbius is like, you're scared of this? Is like, yeah, no. This dude is scary. Don't let it fool you. So I wonder if when we get to Kang Dynasty, the Avengers movie before we get to Secret Wars, is Loki going to show up before his brother? Be like, yeah, bro, this guy, he ain't nothing to mess with. Which, again, if Loki makes it out of Loki too, that'd be interesting. Which now we basically know the Council of Kangs. The Kangs, they know now that the Avengers are actually a problem, even though they have multiple of them have killed Avengers over different time periods and different worlds and variants and stuff like that. Now they know, oh, they could actually be a problem. Like someone like Scott Lang could be a problem if he teams up with someone. We should probably deal with this. Whew. And the thing I put in the good, it's a funny conversation, but the message is clear. It's never too late to stop being a dick, which is what Cassie said to M.O.D.O.K. It's what Cassie said to M.O.D.O.K. I can't wait to talk about M.O.D.O.K. Give me one last good thing is apparently there's a Bill Murray cameo, which if you saw the trailer, you knew Bill was in this, but apparently Janet was with him. It was 30 years. She has needs. That this is literally was in the movie. And Hank's like, no, I get it. It's okay. I had needs too. There was one lady, Linda, and she's like, well, what happened to her? She's like, she wasn't you, baby. I love that you can feel the love there. Some people would take it as a joke, but no, I enjoyed moments like that. Technically made them feel real. Also, Michael Douglas has lost a lot of weight. He looks good. Looks really good. So let's talk about the bad here. M.O.D.O.K. As everyone knows how I felt about Taskmaster being ruined. Yes, ruined. In the Black Widow movie. I don't like what happened with M.O.D.O.K. Now, I can appreciate that he is actually a giant head. His name is even dropped by Bill Murray. He's like a machine only designed for killing. M.O.D.O.K. Even Scott gives an acronym like, oh, you're M.O.D.O.K. And M.O.D.O.K. was the guy that played was Yellow Jacket. Even do a little flashback as he's trying to talk about, Scott shrank him, which, okay, it makes sense how he became M.O.D.O.K., right? His body was shrinking differently and his head went last. And Kang found him and turned him into M.O.D.O.K., which tiny legs, we even see a little tiny CGI butt, big old head. You see the teeth because that's the, his covering. But, okay, the design, it's M.O.D.O.K. Believable how we get to M.O.D.O.K. M.O.D.O.K. dies in this. He dies helping the heroes. The ants, which a reviewer that I watch, I will not say her name, but she said something about the ants. The ants didn't beat Kang. It was M.O.D.O.K. coming from behind using the weaponry saying, I'm not a dick. Good for you. Good for you, Darren. You're not a dick. At least he thought he died being an Avenger. Again, all the jokes were M.O.D.O.K. And M.O.D.O.K. is a kooky character. He is. I like the weirder characters in Marvel. We get Shumagroffs, your M.O.D.O.Ks, your Taskmaster. He's not weird, but Taskmaster's cool as hell, and I wish they hadn't done what they did to Taskmaster. But anyway, at least if you're gonna make Taskmaster a woman, at least don't make him some, oh, my powers are because I have a computer and I'm, have brain dead and I had to be controlled. No, it could just have photographic memory because of the accident. That could, anyway. M.O.D.O.K. dying. It's just, so AIM is not going to be a damn thing. Who's going to be AIM? Where's AIM going to come from? AIM is nothing. We have no M.O.D.O.K. I guess, what's her name? Jessica Chang? Is her name Jessica Chang? Jessica Chow. She was the main villain in in that crappy Avengers game that was on the Sony PlayStation 4. Her name's not Monica Chang. That's a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. I don't. You could have kept him alive somehow. You could have. It could have been like, all right, you're in the way. Throw a thing, and he goes whoop through the multiverse, and somehow ends up in the regular world. So now you got this big dude who helped Kang. He did a lot of work with Kang raising up that city. Darren may be an a-hole and a dick, but he's actually brilliant as well. So the fact that this character was supposed to be Egghead, but then Egghead's actual Egghead's daughter was Ghost, but then he became Yellow Jacket, who was probably be a totally different character, who can also technically be Hank Pym. I just And another bad thing is, this version of Kang is dead. Like Kang the Conqueror, granted, in the Council of Kangs, so many Kangs came out that looked like this Kang. You can slide one of them up in there. That's fine. I'm not subscribing that he died. He got sucked into the probability tachyon transmogrifying thing. He got sucked in there, and that's how he supposedly died. I believe personally that he's out there floating in some type of deep space, and while the Council of Kangs be like, yeah, we're gonna do our strike, he's probably gonna appear, kill all of them, and then double win. I would do it that way personally, but I don't think he's dead. Apparently, the supposed ending was supposed to be Scott being stuck there with him, which I was completely prepared for. I'm like, okay, if Scott doesn't die, he's going to be stuck, which he got saved by Hope. I think we needed to end on a decent note anyway. It's kind of, if every movie has a sour-ish ending, like save the sour endings for your Avenger movies. Although I'm really hoping that we get Ultron back, and Ultron feels super menacing. Like, Loki and Ultron did not feel menacing. Thanos and Kang, yes. 100% yes. What is another bad thing? The Rotten Tomato score. Like, it's oversaturation, because this movie's not bad. They gave Thor: Love and Thunder a higher rating, and that movie is way worse than this. This actually made sense. You could follow what's going on, and every 3 lines wasn't a joke. Sorry, Thor: Love and Thunder. I did enjoy you. I enjoyed you. But this movie took itself seriously, but the plot was like, okay, we're technically haha jokey Ant-Man Wasp, but this is some serious shit going on, and and it felt that way. So I wouldn't take Rotten Tomato scores. Like, it's either good or bad with Rotten Tomatoes. There is no middle ground, which the world isn't just black or white. It's gray. There's so much gray in there. The movie's not bad. And the last bad thing I have on here is no Fantastic Four. I don't want to say that's a bad thing, because I was expecting Fantastic Four, because it's Kang, right? I mean, F4 have Kang. I expected there be a tease where they come in after the Citadel was won. They're going, so you guys know how we can get out of here? But I guess they haven't casted the characters yet, which is, it's fine. I'm not going to dock any points away for something I wanted to happen, but that's just my 2 cents. Interesting things. This kind of felt like Star Wars a little bit. Like when you see the alien races, and then technically there's a cantina scene. No singing and dancing, but different race of beings. Felt very Star Wars, and not in a bad way. I would get Peyton Reed to do a Star Wars movie. Just saying. The worlds within worlds, the whole quantum realm stuff, the theory that, Kang's saying time doesn't move the way you think it does. Some people think that this is too much information. It's overwhelming to the viewer or casual viewer. Not really. They just say, hey, here are some theories. Here's some things that, guess what, you're going to think about later on when you watch the other movies, whether you watch them in theaters, you watch them on Disney Plus, you watch them on Blu-ray or DVD. You're going to think, oh yeah, that's the thing from, because people who watch these movies aren't necessarily casual. If you've watched these movies since 2007, you're not casual. You're not a casual viewer. You are an MCU fan, and that's okay. Don't have to be a comic fan and an MCU fan. I happen to be both, but you're able to pay attention and know what's going on. That's I believe in you guys. You guys are smarter than what people are giving you credit for. I already said the Ant-Man family felt like a stand-in for Fantastic Four. So they kind of did. So I'm interested in seeing the different dynamics from that family. Hopefully, Reed has dry humor, and most of the comic comes from Ben and Johnny interacting, or mostly anybody interacting with Johnny. And I like the Pims. Yeah, no, I enjoyed this movie. I especially enjoyed calling him Grandpa Hank. That's all in all, it's a good movie. Will it? I don't know. I don't know what people were expecting. Although, even though this movie has Ant-Man and Wasp in the title and it does feature that family, this really does feel like a Kang movie. At least the second half on in. Kang is in this movie quite a bit. I thought that they would have sprinkled him here and sprinkled him there. No, Kang is pretty much in this movie. This feels more like a foundational movie than a final sequel to a trilogy. Honestly, feels like this is the setup for something more. Hey, you missed Loki? That's okay. We showed you Loki in here. Now you're gonna go and watch it. But this is a setup to something bigger, and I am all for it. I cannot wait to see how the timeline breaks in other shows and other movies. This is going to be fun. Although, what's the next movie? The Marvels? Believe the Marvels? No, it's Guardians of the Galaxy 3. After that, it should be the Marvels. So we'll see what happens. But my final verdict for this movie, with all the good and some of my gripes, wishing that I'm hoping this version of Kang isn't dead, but Kang is a villain that doesn't really die. Watch Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I keep telling people, Earth's Mightiest Heroes is the best Avengers cartoon that's ever come out. It's by Christopher Yost, award-winning comic book writer. He's done a lot of stuff. He helped create X-23. Amazing writer. Earth's Mightiest Heroes you should watch it. If you have Disney Plus, it's only 2 seasons, I think. I think they were trying to do a third. Watch this show. It covers Secret Invasion, covers Kang. So much fun stuff in it. And they fight Kang at least 4 times. Yes, the Avengers Assemble show, they've done stuff with Kang. Not like this. This is good. With all that being said, I can firmly give this a 4 out of 5. It is not perfect. I can't even say it borders on average, because it's all because of Jonathan Majors and Kang. It's the acting. Even Paul Rudd kind of, in front of Kang and this whole thing, like his whole deal is like, man, we made a deal. And Kang reneged on that deal hard, saying, like, where's my daughter? She'll do fine growing up without you. Takes the orb. The power he has, he's able to lift you up with just a finger. He punked the crap out of M.O.D.O.K. Like, M.O.D.O.K. tried to talk, and he's like, you don't speak when I'm in the room. Whew. Damn. Villain through and through. Tons of fear. Tons of power. So they had a hard time with one Kang. I wonder what they're going to do with the whole council of them. And Kang is infinite. There's no way you're going to kill all of them. So, 4 out of 5. Good movie. Great movie. Not fantastic. Not 5-star, but 4 out of 5. It is a good movie. It's something I actually really want to watch again. And I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to, but good movie. 4 out of 5. Let me know what you thought of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania in the comments down below. Please do not forget to hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. Even Stitch wants you to hit that like button too. Don't forget, subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos such as this one. Thank you, everybody, for taking some time out to listen to me talk about Ant-Man. I do not have an Ant-Man shirt. or a Kang shirt or Ant-Man and the Wasp shirt. So you get the Avengers shirt for now. I'm personal thing before I let you go. I really wished we had a new Avengers movie before we get the whole Kang thing. I need another person's movie to feel like an Avengers movie, even if it's the Sam Wilson Captain America movie. I need another one where we have new Avengers so that it doesn't feel like, oh, we gotta pull everybody together again. No, it should be something with the Avengers, and then we know who's gonna immediately get the axe. But with all that being said, thank you for taking some time out to listen to me. Please be good, be blessed, be safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Be good to yourselves, be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk. All right? Or as Cassie say, it's never too late to not be a dick. All right? As always, guys, there's someone out there who would rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. You are never alone. I promise you, there's someone who wants to talk to you and somebody who will talk to you. If you need to talk to somebody, my social medias are in the description below. Follow me. I will definitely say hi back. I can guarantee it. Well, with all that, me, Shane, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.